Jeff, how do you summarise that after this season?
Yeah, look, we've had our ups and downs this season, and that was probably the game was a little bit like that. It was a real tough game for us. I said earlier, ebbed and flowed, and we were under some unbelievable pressure at times. But the girls managed to do like they've done all season and come through it. And we came out of a few of those spells and came out of it stronger. So, yeah, look, I'm really proud of the way that we played in the game. It wasn't a pretty game for sure, but we said at half-time, it's about our character, it's about not being pretty, it's about winning the game, and yeah, we really rolled our sleeves up. We dug really deep, and we found a way to win the game.
The way next year was pretty impressive. Kept you in the game in the first half, and you could have won it about 5 or 10. What do you have to say about that performance?
Yeah, look, that's what we pay her the big bucks for. No, look, she's been in. Ever since I've known her, she's been in great form. But this year especially, she's been in fantastic form. She's been getting better and better as the season's gone on. Yeah, look, I think one thing you know about Casey is as well when the chips are down, the big games she'll perform, but also against adversity she got smashed there in the second half, and I wasn't worried. I knew she'd get up and she'd go on, which is it's kind of what she does. So yeah, look, got a massive amount of respect for her as a player and as a person. And yeah, look, she plays for us because I know I can rely on her.
Casey, we saw you towards the end of the first half go down, and then in the sheds you were kind of on the floor with the cameras, and then can you just explain to me what happened to you?
Yeah, I've just not been well this week, so we've been monitoring me and making sure that I'm all right to be able to play. And yeah, during the week we did some light sessions and stuff, and then just unfortunately in the game I just started feeling lightheaded again. So then coming to the change room, they were like trying to just get my blood pressure up, sugars up, and just help me recover to get back to play second half.
When you say you went well this week, what were you going through this week? What was the illness or injury?
That's between us and our medical team, but yeah, I sum it up as I just wasn't well, and unfortunately a few days I had to rest in bed, but besides that, no, I'm good. Physically I'm good. It was just the body needed a bit more time, recovery from the last game, and it just took its toll.
Well, having recovered and gone through that during the break, during the middle of the grand final, what was it like going out for a second half, and that might have seemed a little bit touch and go, certainly for us on the outside?
As Jeff says, it will take a lot for me to not come back on the field. So yeah, it was just a case of making sure I was getting right and getting the fluids and the jelly beans and everything in me just to make sure that I could recover for that second half. But I had no doubt in my mind I was coming out. I was never going to get sub off.
Casey, how does it feel now to have this championship alongside the man that gave you your debut in the W League?
It hits the feels, that's for sure. I went up to Jeff and said, so we started in 2008 together, we won the championship together, and then now we've done it again today. But not only that, last season I was actually in this stands watching the girls. I took Deb, his wife's wristband, to run on the field to give him a hug, and now I'm actually being able to stand next to him and have that back-to-back with him. And that was the first thing he said to me when he wanted to have me back. He's like, I want to go back-to-back, are you with me in this? And I was like, 100%. So as much faith as he has in me, I have it in him as well.
What has it been about this Melbourne Victory side during this final series? Because you just seemed to have some deeper determination to you that swept by all other teams. What was it like to be part of that?
It's great to be part of any team, but I don't know if I can explain it unless you're actually there witnessing it with us. There's a big heart amongst that whole group, and even when times were tough, you could tell we were down, but we still had that, I call it a mojo, where you had Maya, for instance, or Maisels, just bringing that little spark that everyone then laughed and was able to lift the spirit. But it's the same with coming into finals. Yeah, end of the season we were like, okay, it wasn't the best, but you look at the games we had, but we knew that minute we had qualified for the finals, was like, we know we have to step it up. And the thing is, we all knew as well that every single one of us could step up and take that too. And I think that's what helped bring that belief and shows that it doesn't have to be pretty, but we sure as hell know how to perform and get that win.
Jeff, another player, a victory player that was fantastic tonight was Alex Chidiac. There's been a lot of talk about her form recently and whether she's deserving of a recall to the Matilda squad. Do you think her performances warrant a selection for the Matildas?
Yeah, look, I'm obviously a little bit biased. I think she's been absolutely amazing for us. In terms of her ability with the ball, her technical ability, her game understanding, but also just she covers every blade of grass on the field. She'll never give up. So I was surprised when she didn't make the squad. And look, I think she keeps playing the way she's playing. It's only going to be a matter of time before she gets a recall into the squad.
Jeff, can I just ask, obviously now is the longest off-season ever. Do you know how many of these girls are going to stick around and what next year looks like, whether we have home and away, what it looks like with the leading to the World Cup? It all just seems like...
No, look, I'd like to. I definitely would. We've spoken to most of the players now about next year. A number of them are already re-signed, and we're talking to the rest of them. The hard thing is we don't know when the season's going to start. We don't know what the season's going to look like, so it'll be good to now just to get the nuts and bolts sorted out, so we kind of understand what next season looks like, so we can start preparing properly for it to come.
Sweet, happy days. Thank you very much, everyone.